Xbox may have just done something I genuinely did not expect in 2026. They are letting physical game owners turn supported Xbox discs into digital entitlements. Come here. Yes, the same industry that's been years looking at physical discs like they're just ancient relics discovered next to a Nintendo Power magazine is now saying, hey, maybe people should keep access to games they already bought. Back up one sec. I know somebody needs to check on the executives because consumer friendly behavior is detected. But before we start throwing an Xbox shaped parade down the street, we need to talk about what this feature actually means, what it does not mean, and why this feels less like the final preservation solution and more like Xbox is finally installing the first brick on the road they should have built back in 2013. All right, before we get into it, if you enjoy gaming news, retro gaming, PC gaming, preservation talk, and where I ask why billion-dollar companies keep making obvious ideas feel like revolutionary discoveries, hit that like button, subscribe, and help this channel reach 1,000 subscribers. We're getting closer, and every subscription helps this channel grow into a bigger place for gamers who still believe buying a game should mean you can actually keep playing the game. Xbox is introducing a feature for supported Xbox One and Xbox Series X disc games that lets you insert the disc into an Xbox console, launch the game, and claim as a digital entitlement. Once you claim it, that game can live in your digital Xbox library while your physical disc continues to work as normal. And honestly, on the surface, this is actually good news. If you own the disc, you should have not to rebuy the same game digitally just because you want the convenience of downloading it. Using cloud gaming where supported or taking advantage of Xbox Play Anywhere where supported. The fact is this, even if conversation tells you how weird modern gaming has become, you buy a game once, then somehow the system looks at you and says, congratulations, now buy it again, but with fewer fingerprints. Xbox says the feature is starting with thousands of titles, though not every Xbox One and Series X disc game will be supported at launch. Xbox insiders are testing it first, which means we still need to see exactly how this works in the real world, especially when it comes to used games, resale, publishers, opting in or out, and whether this ever expands to older Xbox and Xbox 360 discs. I'm going to be straight up. This should have happened years ago. My biggest thought is this is not the solution, but it's a path in a much more comfortable direction. I honestly feel like this feature should have existed when Xbox One and PS4 generation started in 2013. That was a moment in gaming really started going all in on installs, patch accounts, storefronts, subscriptions, digital libraries, and games that sometimes need an online connection just to remember they exist. Back then, a disc stopped being a full game in a lot of cases. It became part of a game, part license key, part please connect to the internet so we can finish assembling the product you purchased. So if the industry was going to push us towards digital convenience anyway, then physical buyers should have had an option to link that purchase to a digital library from day one. Instead, gamers spent years in the awkward middle ground. You bought the disc, but you still installed it. You bought the disc, but you still downloaded patches. You bought the disc, but sometimes you still need servers. At that point, the disc is doing more emotional support than the actual work. Now, Xbox is framing this as a preservation move, and I do think it helps. It gives players more confidence that gamers they pay for can move forward with them. That matters, especially with more companies moving towards digital only systems, PlayStation, streaming, subscriptions, and consoles that may not even include a disk drive in the future. But we need to be honest, this is still not complete preservation. This is preservation as long as Xbox exists, as long as Microsoft keeps the servers running, as long as the account system works, as long as digital license remain valid, and as long as the future leadership decides this is still worth supporting. That is a lot of as longs. That is not ownership carved into stone. That is ownership written on a whiteboard inside of a corporate meeting room. And what happens if Xbox changes leadership one day? What if a future executive decides physical games are too expensive, too inconvenient, or not profitable enough? What happens if they decide that everything should be subscription based, cloud based, and locked behind whatever the next version of Game Pass becomes? Welcome to Game Pass Ultimate Platinum Diamond Plus. Your game library is available every third Tuesday between 2 and 2:15 a.m. The real preservation question is not just whether Xbox lets you claim a digital copy today. The question is, what happens if the company goes away tomorrow? Now, I'm not saying Microsoft is about to disappear. Microsoft is huge. Microsoft have enough money to accidentally buy a small country because somebody clicked the wrong button in Excel. But no company lasts forever in that exact same form, and no corporate promise should be treated like a permanent guarantee. If Xbox ever went away, what happens to the account licenses? What happens to the digital downloads? What happens to the cloud access? What happens to games you legally purchased but can no longer verify because the platform is gone? Your physical disc could still be valuable because you have something tangible in your hands, but modern physical games are not always enough to buy themselves. Some need patches, some need updates, some needs online activation, some are incomplete on a disc, some are basically a coaster with a small download code hiding inside of it. So the long-term goal should be bigger than just disc to digital. We need a way for players to back up ownership. Now, I'm not totally against what Xbox is doing. This is actually really nice. But what I would like Xbox to do, and it's just my opinion, what I would really like to see is Xbox give players a backup option for licensed game libraries. Maybe it's an encrypted storage that you can keep on your home server. Maybe it's a connect to a cloud provider of your choice. Maybe it creates a secure ownership record that can be preserved beyond one company's servers. I want a future where your library is not trapped in one corporate ecosystem forever. If you bought the game, you should have a way to preserve it, prove that you have bought it, not pirate it, not duplicate it for free, not turning your Xbox account into a GameStop clearance bin. Just preserve your legal ownership in a way that is not entirely dependent on Microsoft maintaining the one specific server forever. And here's something else I would like to see: an official Xbox Blu-ray external USB drive for PC. Imagine plugging in an Xbox branded external Blu-ray drive into your gaming PC, opening the Xbox app, inserting your supported Xbox disc, and claiming or installing the game through your account. That would be huge for people building custom living room PCs, SteamOS machines, Windows gaming PCs, or hybrid console setups. If the game supports Xbox Play Anywhere, you could upload your verify your game from your Xbox and then play it physically or digitally on your custom PC through the Xbox app. That would give people the freedom to keep their physical game libraries while still moving into the PC gaming without feeling like they have to abandon every game they collected over the years. Xbox already talks about Play Anywhere. Well, Anywhere should include the custom PC I built myself, not just Xbox Microsoft tells me to buy every generation. There is also still the uncomfortable possibility that this make all digital gaming even more likely in the long run. Again, I'm not saying this specific feature is bad. I like this procedure. I think it's a good thing. But when you make it easier for people to convert physical purchases into account-based digital access, companies may use that as another reason to say, see, do you not see that discs are not needed anymore? And that is where gamers have to be careful. Digital is convenient. I love convenient. I love not having to get up and swap discs. I am lazy enough to say if my controller falls 2 inches away from me, I start considering whether gaming is really worth it tonight. But convenience should not come at a cost of ownership, consumer choice, resale, collecting, trading, offline access, and preservation. Physical games should remain an option. Digital games should remain convenient, and players should not be forced into one future just because it's more profitable for companies selling it. Alright, here's my final thoughts. So overall, I think Xbox deserves credit here. In a gaming industry where physical media feels like it's a consistent fighting for its life, this is a genuinely positive move. It's better than telling players to rebuy their games. It's better than just pretending disc libraries don't matter. And it's a step towards making Xbox purchases feel less disposable. But it is still only a step. The real finish line is a gaming future where players can buy physical games, claim digital access, use their games on Xbox and PC where appropriate, preserve the licenses independently, and keep accesses even if companies change direction years from now. I want digital gaming to be the convenient option, not the only option. I want physical games to remain meaningful, not become temporary activation cards. And I want preservation to be more than just, don't worry, the corporate says it'll be fine. Because the moment a company says you do not need to own it, just trust us, that is the moment you should probably start looking for the receipt. Alright, let me know what you think in the comments. Is Xbox Disc to Digital feature a real win for preservation? Or is it just a temporary bridge towards an all-digital future? Would you use an Xbox external Blu-ray USB drive on PC if it lets you verify and play your physical games through the Xbox app? If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe, help us reach 1,000 subscribers. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.